Welcome back, guys. In this segment we are going to deal organization and the system concept of organization, how we can take organization as a system. Now, social scientists attempts to understand organization by relying on two assumptions. There are two assumptions, main core assumptions. One, that the name of the organization tells its location and purpose. That is one assumption. Two, that an organization has built-in goals that were implanted by its founders. Now, every organization has got a vision and mission. Now, this implies that the name itself provides a detailed description of what the company is proposing. The name, location, etc. For example, company from India might be Maruti. That means monkey god, Hanuman, Maruti. So that means it's coming from India. So that's what it says. The name of organization provides location and purpose. And that organization has built-in goals that were implanted by its founders. The founders have made an underlying goal, what needs to be done. There are two basic criteria for identifying a social system. First one is tracing the pattern of energy exchange or activity of people as it results in some outputs. The pattern of energy exchange, positive or negative, anyone can be, any type of energy can be the case. Energy exchange or activity of people as it results in some outputs. There could be negative outputs, there could be positive output. That's what it says, any type of energy. Two, ascertaining how the output is translated into energy which reactivates the pattern. Now, ascertaining how the output is translated, how it is translated by the people, how it is perceived, perception. Systems theory, it focuses on the arrangement of and relations between the parts and how they relate to the whole. Deals with patterns, temporal, that means over periods of time, and spatial, how things are arranged physically. Now, system theory focuses on arrangement of and relations, arrangement of the relations and the relation between the parts and how they relate to the whole structure, subsystems and systems, how the subsystems are interlinked, how they are intertwined, how they behave. Deals with patterns, which is temporal, that means over a period of time, and spatial, that means how things are arranged, physical arrangement of the process. For example, if you look into an assembly line process, everything done is in a structural manner. So this is that. This is in relation to that. An open system means living system dependent on the external environment, continually interacting. That means if you take human beings as such, we continually interact with other human beings and with the environment as such, because we drive in a car, we pollute the environment. That's one interaction, whether it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter. Then we interact when we go to a hotel. We need places to sleep. So we interact with the manager, we interact with the receptionist. So that's what it is, open system. Common characteristics of open system is that one is importation of energy. Open systems take energy from the external environment. A cell receives oxygen from bloodstream. Exactly. So no social system is self-sufficient. There is no social system which can be self-sufficient. Everyone has to depend on others. For example, in Kerala, we depend on Tamil Nadu for our rice, for chicken, for meat, poultry, etc. So it's not self-sufficient. They are interdependent. The throughput. Open systems transform energy. That means one form of energy is transformed to the other form. The body converts starch to heat. Example, that's the example. Work is getting done. The outputs, open systems export some product into the environment, an invention, carbon monoxide from the lungs, etc. So output, open systems export some of the products into the environment. Systems as cycles of events, cyclic pattern of output and input. If you look into the the cyclic chain of life cycle, you can see that a person is born, one energy is converted to the other, and he marries, he makes children, then he dies. What happens when he dies? He is being buried in the ground. So he is going back to nature. So that's the cyclic turn of events. Negative entropy. Open systems can acquire negative entropy by importing more energy than it expends. Thus creates a storehouse of energy, preventing starvation and death. Now, negative entropy, you can think about carbon greenhouse effect. The carbon dioxide gets culminated inside, they get accumulated inside the Earth's ozone layer, and that increases the heat. That's why we have global warming these days, because more energy is being conserved than it expends. Information inputs, negative feedback, and the coding process. Inputs gather information about the environment. A type of information input is negative feedback. This allows for a system to correct itself. Example, thermostats. Right, our air conditioners, whenever there is we set the air conditioner to 20 degrees, maybe 21 degrees, anytime the room temperature goes above that 21 degrees, it starts operating. So that's the coding process, negative feedback, etc. Because not all input can be accepted into a system, it uses a coding process to select certain input. Now, if you take the case of interviews for a particular position, now they say that you need to have MBA, you need to have 2 years experience. That is called the coding process. We are not inviting each and every single MBA graduates, we are inviting graduates who have got 2 or plus years experience. Next comes the steady state and the dynamic homeostasis. A steady state. Homeostasis is a Greek word which means steady state. So steady state does not mean motionless. It means that the input-output ratio remains equal. Body temperature regulation. For example, you can say about a car going in on constant speed. It is moving. It's not static. It is moving, but it's moving at a steady rate. That is what steady state and dynamic homeostasis implies. It is dynamic. The car is moving, but it's moving at a regular speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Differentiation. Multiplication, elaboration, and specialization comes under differentiation. You differentiate with yourself to others and others to yourself. Then equifinality. There is more than one way to get the same things done. So alternative resources can be applied, alternative methods can be applied. That is equifinality. That means equal in the final result. Equifinality.